impressive.
Okay, upon a special request by David, I want to go back to the questions that we asked just now. We see that in Europe, there are just many directives, and to us, there may be to us a kind of hard line approach. So whether we can then adopt, like, the Japanese way, more margins, more incentive to achieve the same results. So David, your comments, please.
Yeah, I've been involved in the environmental movement since the late 1980s. Okay, and it came to waste management in the late 1990s. And if I was to say to you the examples of 4 or 5 industries, global industries, and whether they have actually moved to become more environmentally or more health friendly without legislation, if I asked you, the food industry, is it really working to reduce the salt and the sugar that it has in its processed food? What would your answer be? If I said to you, the tobacco industry is really, really working to make sure its cigarettes don't kill you, would that be true or not? If I said to you, the petroleum industry really, really fought to reduce lead in petrol before it was forced to, would that be true or not? If I said to you that big oil companies like Exxon, Chevron, Shell, and BP are really, really serious about reducing the emissions from the fossil fuel industry, would that be true or not? Get the point? I could carry on with the chemical industry, I could carry on with the pharmaceutical industry, and my point is that until it hurts, here, industry tends not to change. Now Lisa's looking at me and horrified, of course. But that's for a very, very simple reason, and that's because industry has invested in technologies, has invested in plants, and invested in systems which are very, very difficult to change. There's a lot of money invested there. And so, when we talk about the need to move away from incineration in Germany and the move away from these big obsolete plants, it has taken 10 to 15 years to come around to that, because they have invested over a 30-year period in exactly that technology. It's taken a long, long time to come away from the culture of landfill in many parts of Europe, because landfill is so profitable and people have so heavily invested in it. So if we take a soft approach, the Japanese approach, which I wonder really if it is soft, but anyway, the soft approach, and that is, come on, Melissa, come on, you can get that recycling level up another % if you try. And she goes home, God, it's going to cost us 10,000 JPs or Singapore dollars or whatever. No, we'll leave it, we'll do it tomorrow. But if I say to Melissa, by 2020, your company and your area that you control must be recycled 65% of household waste, otherwise in 2021, not only am I going to increase your disposal fees, but I'm going to fine you. And by the way, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you all the stuff you need for your communications. I'm going to help you with your infrastructure investments, etc. Melissa's going to go home and talk to her family and say, hey, we've got to do this, otherwise in 2021 we're in trouble. Okay?
No, that is really food for thought for many of us. I think there is many of us who still believe in the humankind, who believe that we can do something for the betterment of our world and our planet. But never mind, I want to leave more time to the question and answer sessions, because I see some of the businessmen and the industrial practitioners here. But before I leave it to the floor, maybe I ask one final question for both David and Melissa. That what do you think will be the key trends and development that would dominate the waste management landscape in the years to come? For David, maybe you can comment more on a global perspective, and for Melissa, for the local. Yeah.
Global trend.
No, the local trend. Yeah, something that happened in Singapore's landscape. Yeah.
Tough question. Anybody got answer for me or not? Well, see, I think Singapore will have a lot more to learn on recycling. After all, recycling is very, very young in Singapore. And Singapore now, the population is increasing from a 3.8 million, I think, now could be 6 point something or 7, but it may be undisclosed, I don't know. But at least I know that every time you all take bus, MRT is always very crowded. So I think population has increased. So when there's people, there will be waste. When we have more people, there will be more waste. Then how? Well, we have very limited resources. We have limited land. We have limited people who is going to work for us. So we definitely have to think of something else. We need to think of something. So as what they said, gasification is going to be expensive, very difficult, or it is possible to still adopt and use it in Singapore, but what else can we do? So can we be looking at having more waste to energy plant in Singapore? Besides using biomass to burn, can we use other alternative fuel like waste? Instead of going to incineration plant, where everything, the mixed tapalang, all go to incineration plant and burn it, will companies be looking at having your own slightly smaller waste to energy plant by not only burning the biomass? You could be looking at some other waste streams that you doesn't want it and you burn it. Then you will generate the energy, the electricity, and then you can either use it within your own premises or sell it to your neighbor. Because now with the new EMA ruling, I think you can actually sell to your left and right neighbor with EMA approval based on 2 megawatts, if I'm not wrong. I think so, correct? GK, correct or not? Wrong, So I think it's something like that along the line. So that could be one area that the companies could be looking at in order to upskill the technology here. Because basically the collections is just going to be there, it will continue to stay. We could explore having alternate days of collection rather than a daily collection. That will make us be more efficient. We could explore putting some sensor, camera or something in the bins so that we can detect when the waste is full. We come in and we can pick it up. That could be one. We could look at having a portable weighing scale with a printing ticket or records where we can ensure that the waste collected on the road, it will not exceed the LTA, which is the Land Transport Authority regulations based on the tonnage weight on the road. So there's in fact there's many things that we could look at. I think the latest one, which I was told by some of our members that went to US to the Waste Expo, they were telling me that to have this like a curbside collection. Now in Singapore is one driver, 2 assistants that goes to a private house to collect the waste from the waste bin. So they are now exploring to see whether if you could use just one truck and one driver by using the side lifting and lift up and hoist up the waste and put it into the bin and then put it back in by using mechanized arm, I would say. So these are the areas that we could possibly be exploring. Yeah.
See, the way I see is in Singapore's context, there are a few key factors. First factor is really the resource crunch in Singapore. Will we face it and when we will face it? I mean, we had this sand import issue from Indonesia, we all know that. And even because of that, now we have to have a very different phase of working in Semakau landfill. We don't divide them into small areas anymore. We have to have a big area and then we have to build a floating platform and the wastewater treatment plant just to fuel Semakau. So the waste to resource is one key thing that Singapore has to worry about. What if we can use